Hi, my name is Emily Madill. I'm here with my weekly happiness video where each week I share an idea and strategy for enhancing your overall well-being and your mindset, and some simple practices for tuning inward and living from the inside out. This week I'll be reading aloud my featured article. It's a new one called "Maintaining a Weekly Planning Ritual is the Highest Form of Self-Care." A planning ritual does not sound like a form of self-care. It's not exactly bubble baths and meditation. The idea of planning and organizing can feel constricting, or it can feel like a chore. If the sound of routines and rituals isn't music to your ears, you're not alone. I happen to live for my weekly planning ritual, not because I'm super type A, but because at some point in my life, I found chaos unbearable to navigate. For years, I would power through the days and weeks, overcommitted, trapped in multitasking madness. I never felt further ahead. Instead, I felt scattered, depleted, and eventually burned out. My approach to the day made life harder than it had to be. Something had to give. A weekly planning ritual saved me. I started mapping out my week every Sunday. At first, the idea was simply to get all of my to-dos out of my head and onto paper so I could make sense of how I was allocating my time, what I needed to scale back on, and ultimately what I needed to say no to. But my planning sessions grew into a well-practiced ritual of tuning inward that has become my most treasured self-care habit. In his article, How Are Habits Formed? The Psychology of Behavioral Change, board-certified neuropsychologist Jeffrey J. Gaines takes an in-depth look at the neuroscience and psychology of habit formation. But he still sees the mysterious magic behind it. Actions that are repeated over time gradually become habits with a curious life of their own. That has been, quite literally, my experience with the weekly planning ritual. I haven't missed a week in over 5 years. I've planned through international travel, my kids' sports tournaments, the changing seasons of life, a global pandemic, loss, grief, and everything in between. It turns out planning isn't a constricting burden, but rather a gift that makes my days and weeks feel more spacious. Setting aside 15 minutes on Sundays to tune inward, allocate my energy, and set an emotional intention for the week is a form of self-care that has me coming back again and again. Even if I do nothing but set that intention, everything in my week feels more at ease. If navigating your week feels like hacking through dense jungle without a map, here are 3 simple ways to get started with your own weekly planning ritual. Number 1, set the stage. Pick a consistent day for your weekly planning ritual. If it's helpful, allow flexibility around the time of day you pick. Committing to the same day each week makes it easier for this practice to become a habit you look forward to. I like to create a calming atmosphere before I design my week, but sometimes I fill in my planner while I'm traveling or on the go. It's still a helpful way to set up the week with intention. I've started a weekly planning group to support others in making this ritual a habit. Our community meets in a virtual space, and filling in our planners each week has been a joyful experience. There are many ways to make this practice inviting. Start from where you are and experiment with how you set the stage. It'll help you design your week in a way that feels best to you. Number 2, add an intention. Create an intention that reflects how you most want to feel for the upcoming week. For me, it's a power word or phrase like grounded or calm, accomplishment. Sometimes I use the same intention for an entire month or season if it's one that is serving me best. Setting an intention is an act of self-care. You're taking the time to listen to your own wise guide and then using that wisdom to take care of your future self. It's a gift that gives all week long. And the emotional rewards of setting your intention are just that, rewards. According to Dr. Gaines, this is a key aspect of habit formation. For an activity to become a habit, it helps if it's not only repeated often, but also positively reinforced. And finally, number 3, invitation to reset. The weekly design you create during your planning ritual is also your invitation to reset through the week. There is a relief that comes from getting the big picture out of your head and down onto paper. It also creates an opening to see where your schedule is full and helps you maintain healthy boundaries around your time and energy. Saying no to those extra things is easier when you know how you are spending your time and how you want to feel. When you head into the week with clarity and a word or phrase you can draw on, it's easier to hit the reset button when life doesn't go according to plan, and life rarely does. That's the beauty of having a design and an intention. They direct you back to your inner wisdom, the wisdom that will prompt you to breathe, reset, and restart from where you are. No matter how the week unfolds, the knowledge that you can reset effectively is empowering. How we feel becomes our experience of living. We can either experience life flying by the seat of our pants, or we can create a container to cushion the falls and regroup as needed. Either way, life is an adventure, and it's better when we practice a little self-care during the ride. What about you? How might a weekly planning ritual enhance your adventure? So that is our article this week. Maintaining a weekly planning ritual is the highest form of self-care. I will include a link below this video to the article in case you want to have a read through, or if you'd like to share it out with someone who this might be a helpful read for them. It'll be up on my website, emilymadill.com, and it will also be up on thriveglobal.com. I'm honored to be one of Thrive Global's editors at large, so I do share all of my writing out on Thrive Global as well as on my website. And I do have a couple of helpful resources for one, setting an intention and just increasing that self-awareness practice you have. It's called Fall in Love with Your Life. The first one is a book that I launched back in 2015, Fall in Love with Your Life, 1 week at a time. It's a journal style book with weekly prompts, simple ideas, just like this, like gratitude, community, different topics that are short, and then you can write right inside of the book. You can write your self-reflections and incorporate the energy behind the intention into your week. And there's 52 weeks, so it just sort of gently guides you through the year. So there's this book, which I'll include a link below this video, or you can get it on Amazon or request to have it added to your local bookstore. The other one is the planner that I made reference to in the article. It's the Fall in Love with Your Life Seasonal Planner, a heart-centered feminine way to organize your time. And this is a planner. It is available on online retailers and in local bookshops by request. But this is the one that I use in my weekly planning membership, where we all meet together in a virtual space to just for a little bit of community connection and that sense of accountability around doing our own weekly planning ritual of setting that emotional intention and, you know, putting down our top priorities and our self-care. And it looks at time in a bit of a different way, in a circle, which is the feminine model. It's full color and it covers you for a season. So if you're curious about this, I'll include a link below. And I invite you, if it's something that you're interested in coming to check out the membership. It's just $10 a month. And it's a really nice community that we have in there. Just really down to earth women in there, just all committed to just, you know, it's not about creating a perfect life or being happy all the time. It's just about putting ourselves in the driver's seat of our life and feeling resourceful and having a tool and a guide and a way to, with a little bit more ease, to connect back to your own inner wisdom throughout the week. So to have those resets and start from where you are, rather than having the week totally unravel and things just always feeling haywire and forgetting to, you know, press that reset button to just realign and have that sense of enjoyment in your life too, right? So it's just all about the experience of life. So if either of those resources are helpful, they're on my website, emilymadill.com, or I'll include links below. But I do invite you to consider looking at what a weekly planning ritual, if that's something you don't already do. I know it can sound constricting, but I promise you that it is really easy habit to implement, and it the gifts that it gives far outweigh the small amount of time that you put into it each week. So even if you did nothing else but set that emotional intention for how you want to feel, I know you would notice a difference in your week. So try it on, see how it fits. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you.